bit more apropos. Here we go. All right, let's start climbing this dang mountain, dude. How you doing today? It's a Thursday. It's a good day. Keep it moving. We know what we're doing here. We just got to get the hammer back in the groove. Chat, be honest with me. Did you watch Altered Beast? Who won Altered Beast? I don't think it was me. I kind of... I bricked it up a little bit. Dan won. Not surprising. No? Malf won? Malf won? Malf won columns, yes. That surprised me too. But he earned it. I am not afraid to announce the next Golden Goblet will be retro NES games available on the Switch. I meant to turn that off. I'm sorry. I meant to turn off the hype train. And I know it sounds like, yeah, sure you did. But like I really, really did. When I made that tweet about it today that was like, uh-oh, it's a hype train. I was like, now we'll go turn it off. But I got distracted. Anyway, we're doing NES games next. And I gotta tell you, for Genesis games, we just let Dan pick the games because nobody knew what they were talking about. For NES games, we had like a draft. We had to actually go through we did some trades. Like, Malf was like, I don't want to do this unless Excite Bike is on the docket. So can we yeet Donkey Kong and put Excite Bike in? And I was like, Jacob doesn't touch it. Donkey Kong's not going anywhere. We can yeet Balloon Fight or Kid Icarus, but Donkey Kong's not going anywhere. And then Dan said, Balloon Fight is Pog incarnate, but I will yeet one Kid Icarus. Is Punch-Out on there? It is. It is on there. What about F-Zero? Those are SNES games. We'll get to the SNES games for sure. Will it be longer than 15 minutes? I doubt it. That's kind of Dan's prerogative. Like, I think he wants the videos to be in that really short range, which is not... I mean, I would be fine with... I think maybe 20, 25 is more my wheelhouse. 15 is like, you're going as fast as possible. I think 15 works fine, though. But then when we were coming up with stuff for this week, Malf and Dan were like, what about sim games? And I was like, if you can make it work, that'll be fine. And then they were talking about like House Flipper. And I was like, can you even do anything in 15 minutes in that game? And they were like, you're absolutely right. Yeet. The answer to that question is no. You got to remember we watch all three. No, you just peep the view sync and put my audio on. It's the best of both worlds. All three worlds. Bindleman. Whoop. That could have worked. If we had more control, that could have worked. We were doing a swing instead of a pull. Relax. 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 Do you know why Malf didn't stream today? Yeah, he's been going through his internet stuff. I think he had the new ISP came today to get everything set up, so hopefully he's good from tomorrow onwards. Dude, internet issues are one of the worst things about this job, for sure. There's not a lot of bad things, but it's one of the worst things. So I have a lot of sympathy for Malf. Hopefully his new ISP is getting it sorted out. What about toxic chat? Internet issues are worse. Like, at least toxic chat, you, like, have a chat. Just a little pull on that one. Oh, jeez. Yeah, this jump is a little resinous. I'm not denying it. As long as you stay loose, it's not that bad. No, my chat isn't toxic either. Like, there's some chats on this platform that I'm like, the streamer is gonna, like, actually go live in a cave. Like, they're gonna end up being involuntarily hospitalized one day because their stream is just endlessly rude to them at all times. Okay, here we go. There you go. My chat is only bad when I say kids should do more homework. Yo, B-Cop's with me. Finally. There's dozens of us. Okay. I don't know about this one. Talk about the gym. Dude, nothing to talk about. I'm going. I'm lifting. Some days it's busy. Some days it's not busy. Going. Talk about the coronavirus. I've been talking about it more. Did you guys recognize? Like, this is the reason I was talking about it. Oh, not from like a public health standpoint. Bindelman, hello. Did you realize on Tuesday's stream, I said like almost these exact words? And this is where if I had an editor, I would be like, put the clip here. I said, I don't know anything about the stock market. But with all this political upheaval and coronavirus stuff, I want to short the entire market. And then today, the S&P 500 is down 11%, dude. I'm Nostradamus. I told you. It's the NLSS curse, dude. Really wasn't hard to figure out. Well, why didn't you short everything? Why didn't you short everything on Tuesday if it was common knowledge? I mean, why didn't I? Well, it's very simple. I'm not confident in my financial knowledge. So instead, I take the philosophy that, over time the market will go up, so I'll just hang in it and not worry too much about momentary ups and downs. Okay. Bindle! Now is when you buy everything because it's low. Yo, but what if this is only the first part of it falling? What if it's gonna fall further? But what if it goes to the moon, dude? But what if it goes to the Earth? But what if it goes to the moon, dude? What if it stays the same? How are you enjoying Stone Shard so far? Yo, I like Stone Shard, and I don't mind that it's super hard, but that game is super hard. Like, you can get a quest at level 1. I tried to do the quest and got my ass beat. Then I looked up online how you're supposed to play. Apparently, like days 1 to 3, you should just go out into the woods and hunt deer in order to get deer pelts and antlers. And then traded for enough money to get a weapon that's slightly better so you can maybe do the first quest. Oh no, I'm not fucking with the bears, trust me. I've found myself in a lot of interesting situations early on. Also, my character is extremely bad at shooting. I don't think I've hit one animal out of like 100 shots. Great stuff. Okay, we're back. We're back. I'm playing the melee-focused lady. Anya? Arna. That's it. That's fine. We recovered. Malf stopped playing it because it just wasn't fun for him anymore. It wouldn't surprise me if it's kind of shitty to stream because every time you die, you're going to get a lot of backseating. And also you're going to get people that have not played that are going to be like, why is he dying to wolves? But on YouTube, I don't have to deal with that because, you know, it's all in the comments. It protects my psyche. Whoop! Ladies and gentlemen, we're up. Okay. 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 You could just hide Twitch chat. Dude, I almost did that during Getting Over It on Tuesday. Just not because they were saying anything bad, but just so that I didn't have the temptation to look at it. I keep glancing. I can't stop glancing, dude. I see you glance. I mean, I can glance now. If we fall, we fall, but we're soon to not be in a glanceable situation. Like Steven Glansberg. Remember when he crapped his pants in high school or in middle school? That was 8 years ago, asshole. People don't forget. Okay. Okay. It's from Superbad, sweetheart. I think we can make it from here. Mom's making a puby salad with Seth's own dressing. What year was Superbad? That's 2007, 100%. Because I saw it in my first year, summer vacation in university. Underage drinking in Ottawa. Saw it at the Rideau Center. And I'll tell you, when I saw it, it's one of... I've only had this a couple of times watching movies where I was like, this movie's going somewhere. When I saw Superbad on opening night, I was like, this is going to be a classic. When I saw The Dark Knight on opening night, I was like, this is phenomenal. I mean, yes, Endgame and Infinity War, but like everybody kind of knew it in advance. I think that those were going to be huge. Also, The Love Guru. Some people call me Maurice. Whip, woo. Oh, you know what? The Hangover. I'm with you, even though you said you were wrong. When I saw The Hangover, I was like, this movie's gonna have legs. This is a $100 million R-rated comedy. Okay. Now, do not look at chat. This is a no glance situation. That's fine. That's fine. You take as much time as you got to take. Superbad is one of the most divisive movies amongst my friends. Really? I will say, if you like Superbad, you should definitely watch Booksmart from last year. That movie was great and contained a very, very similar energy. Superbad has aged very poorly. I don't know. I mean, I saw it like a year ago again. I didn't feel like it aged poorly, but I have like also way too much nostalgia about the movie to judge it on its own merits. I watched half of Blockers and I thought it was pretty good. I like the part where John Cena drinks a beer through his bum. Oh, please. Yeah, I think we've got to stop saying aging poorly. We got to start saying just ages normally. Because most people, like, age poorly. You know? If you, I don't look the same as I looked in 2007 when Superbad came out. We both look a little bit worse. Have we aged poorly? I don't think so. I think we've just shown our age. What's aged poorly? Parts of the 40-year-old virgin have aged poorly due to changing societal norms, for sure. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Whip. Boop. Oh, dude, yeah, American Beauty has aged terribly. I mean, I talked about this to like this was blowing my mind in Isaac. Like, I saw American Beauty in my first year of university. It had come out in like 2001 or something, though, right? So I saw it in 2006, and when I saw it, the movie spoke to me on such a like a human level where I was like, this guy's got a great life, but he's like, he doesn't feel the satisfaction from his life. So it's like about the greater quest for meaning, plus his family like freaking hates him, like it's not fair. Now when you watch the movie, you're like, hey buddy, you got a nice house in a nice neighborhood. You got a great job. You got a family that, you know, it has some problems, but at the same time, you're like, you know, you're doing better than most people by far. And then instead, he's like, no, it's not. I want to sleep with my daughter's best friend. It's like that movie reeks of the oh, no. That movie reeks of like the late 90s, early 2000s, where like so many movies were like, yeah, I'm rich, but so what? Nowadays, people are like, shut up, dude. You're doing okay. So many movies from that era. Like every Cameron Crowe movie, except for Almost Famous, is basically like, yeah, I have a net worth of like 8 figures, but if I can't date Penelope Cruz, what does it even matter? High Fidelity is the same thing, but without money. Yeah, but it's without money, but plus Jack Black, so it gets a lot of credit for me. Also, that great scene where Tim Robbins comes into the record store and they just beat the shit out of him. Anyway. Is it really the movie aging or you aging? I think it's a little bit of both, but I also think, like, for movies like American Beauty and Fight Club, which I think is still a very good movie, but the start of it is kind of weird in 2020, I think it is culture changing. Where instead you're like, you know, like Ed Norton has a good corporate job and a nice apartment, and Brad Pitt's like, fuck that, that shit sucks. Nowadays, people are like, I would kill a human being to get that shit. Give me that shit. Give me the IKEA furniture. Give me the stove. No, I said Fight Club's still a very good movie. It's just that part of it is, it doesn't ring as true as I think it did in 1998. The 90s were very prosperous. President of the United States was playing a saxophone on the late night television program. Everybody was smiling. Well, some people were smiling. Maybe not everybody. It's also why all that, like, all the music, like when music got like really angsty in like 2000 and 2001, it seems really hilarious, you know, when you look back at it back in time. You're like, what are you angry about? A house is like $75,000. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Everybody, cover your ears, please. There will be bats. There are going to be bats on the screen. Cover your ears. I'm hitting it. I have to hit it. I have to hit it to get it off the screen. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. There you go. We've done it. I'm not out here trying to murder your eardrums. I wanted to give you advance warning. I was sleeping. I don't buy it. I don't believe that you were sleeping, woke up and typed that into your phone keyboard. I don't buy it. Dude, you're absolutely right. Bindelman's jump is like the worst jump in this game. This is like Miyazaki's Poison Swamp of getting over it. Dun, 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 dun. Do it again. We could do it again. Firmly plant yourself and then send yourself to the freaking moon. One of these days, dude. One of these days. I'm starting to exhume boomer energy. Can you help me, chat? You're going to have to go with me on a little conversational journey here. Sorry, exude. Exude. There are parts of boomer energy that are good. There are parts of it that are bad. Nobody hates good boomer energy. They only hate the bad stuff that's like, why don't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps? The ignorance in like, you know, oh, with minimum wage, I put myself through NYU in 1971. They don't realize that college is 400 times more expensive and minimum wage is still the same value. That's bad boomer energy. There's some parts of boomer energy I'm very for. Staying at home instead of going outside. That's a little bit of boomer energy. You know, waking up early, that's boomer energy. Taking pride in keeping a clean house, that's boomer energy. Think you got to embrace the positive parts? Let's go. Of boomer energy. But don't succumb to the negative parts of boomer energy. That's my 2 cents. I think you're consuming boomer energy with millennial energy. I'm not confusing it. This is just, whenever I talk about being responsible, Chad calls me a boomer. Then when I talk about being responsible, being boomer energy, they're like, well, that's millennial energy, actually. If we're going to pull back the veil here. Okay. Bindleman, send me. Whoop. I don't subscribe to this generational warfare thing, though. Like, okay, boomer, I think is a very funny meme, for sure. But I'm like, I see a lot of people in chat who are younger than me but have boomer energy. Like, if I dab, they go, oh my god, don't dab. This is what's wrong with society today. That's boomer energy, dude. Don't talk. The mouth on the thing doesn't move. Just hang. How small of a slice is too small? I mean, it's very simple. You wipe until the paper isn't brown. There's no rule. You have to take it on a dump by dump basis. Yeah, I look at the paper. Absolutely. It's supposed to be brown? Oh, so I use white toilet paper? Sorry, I wanted to be clear. What does that have to do with slices? It's not a big deal. You had a big mud pie. You used too small a slice. What do you do on a single wipe, no brown situation? You wipe again just to make sure, and you expand the radius. If you still don't see any brown, you've been kissed by an angel. But you gotta take the second wipe though, just to be sure. Good stuff. Oh, here we go. Is that what we're going to do today? We're going to fight. NL, do you tip on takeout orders? I do, but I definitely think it's like it's a 50-50 situation. I do it because I am doing well in my life on a fiduciary level, and I feel like that's kind of paying it forward. So I'm like, I'll add a little bit to this because I can afford it, and I hope that the serving staff gets this 15% or whatever, or 10% on takeout. But I could totally, I mean, here's the thing. It is not logical to tip on takeout if you think you tip for table service, but I don't really tip for table service either. If a robot gave me my food, I would still be like, well, this tip goes to the, the staff in the kitchen or whatever. Oh, no. Oh, no. So that's my sincere answer. It doesn't, though? I think it depends on the situation. Like, I've been to some restaurants. I'm very against this. Like, on the menu for the restaurant, it's like $6. Buy a beer for the kitchen. I'm like, no, absolutely not. Under no circumstances will I ever order that. But I will tip. But I will not buy a beer for the kitchen. Why don't you, the business owner, simply give the kitchen a beer? Now, you might take it a step further and be like, why don't you, the business owner, pay them a livable wage? Fair enough. I don't set the rules of culture. I just try to follow them. Huge recovery. Huge recovery on that one. Yeah, the US and Canada, they have a very similar tipping culture. I think we tip basically the same. To the best of my knowledge. But it's like it kind of works both ways. Like, I tip no matter what, but if you give me great service, I'm still tipping the same amount. There have been situations where I've been like, this service was so good, I'm going to add like a little extra on top. But oftentimes, those restaurants are already really expensive. So I'm like, if anything, I should tip you a lower percent. Because you're taking me to the cleaners in this situation. Don't lose the bindle! All right, let's do it. I'll tip extra if we have a complicated order. Well, like, if you go to one of those restaurants that's like, hey, for a table of like 6 or more, we automatically charge a gratuity. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I got no problem with that. Bindle. 3. Stay loose, stay loose. 3, 2, 1, bindle. That was good momentum, just at the wrong vector. Okay. Stay loose. 3, 2, 1, bindle. Okay, that's fine. We're working on it. You know what boomer energy is? Boomer energy is using your measly tip to threaten the waitstaff into giving you unfair treatment. 3, 2, 1, Bindle. If we had hanged there, it would have been okay. Like that classic little life pro tip that's actually just a shortcut to become a horrible person, where when you go out to eat, you put like 5 $1 bills on the table, and anything the waitress does something you don't like, you take a dollar bill away. And whenever that's posted, there's always like the most ridiculous stories I've ever seen in my entire life. As soon as we took $1 away, the waitress gave me the best service I've ever had in my entire life. You would be stunned. Waitresses hate him. How he totally hacked their brains. Whoop. Oh, son of a bitch. I've been working on my Trump impression. It's not... I got a long way to go. I don't know... Like, I can't do it on purpose, honestly. I only slip into it by accident. It has a little bit of Brooklyn, and then you walk it back. But then you also got to find... See, we're slipping in a little Bad Bernie there. See? Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. It's like New York combined with a little popcorn lung. And there's almost a little brass in it. It's a great voice. Why would you do that? Corn pop lung. My grandpa took out his phone and started a timer in the restaurant. Like, what is wrong with... And, like, it's your grandpa, okay? So, like, it's a bad thing for me to say this. But, like, you're going out to eat, you weirdo. Why are you turning it into, like, a weird fucking power thing? It's like those dudes who are obsessed with handshakes. You're... I'll have a cheeseburger, please. And you're on the clock. Like, what a weirdo. It's such a... What a weird... psychology to have underpinning every single engagement you ever have in your entire life. I'm trying to hang, dude, but I'm flailing too much. Aren't your parents like this? Not at all. They get all their grievances with the restaurant done in advance most of the time. So for my parents, it's like, hey, table for 3? Oh, it'll be a 5-minute wait. No deal. We're out of here. But once you're in the restaurant, we might be like, you know, if we're waiting a long time, we might be like, wow, it's like they're growing our food back there. Wow, the farmer's harvesting our wheat. But like, you know, they would never be like, I want to speak to your manager. Just hang, dude. What's the latest you'll show up to a restaurant before closing? I think like a half an hour is pretty fair. I mean, it depends on the restaurant. But that's the other thing. Like, if it's a nice meal. Well, like, here's the thing. If you're going to, like, a crazy fancy restaurant, they just won't seat you. They'll be like, we've already done our last seating for today, but you can order off, like, the bar menu if you want. Yeah, or the kitchen is closed, for example. Whoop, we're up. I mean, I really think it's like a customer is always right situation, which is, I mean that in an ironic sense. Like, I'll show up half an hour before close, But if the, the host is like, oh, we can't serve you because it'll take too long, I'm like, that's fair. I'll go someplace else. Like, I don't want them to be like, hey, the 8 dudes in the kitchen, we got one more order coming in. I don't want that. But I kind of think that's not on me. Because some restaurants are like, Bindle. Some restaurants are like, half an hour is no problem. Like, if you go into a ramen joint 30 minutes before close, it takes like 4 minutes to get your food. Not a big deal. If you go into like a place where your food takes 25 minutes to cook 30 minutes before it closes, it's probably, not something you want to do. I'm with you. I think a closing time should have 2 times. One of the times is like last order, and some places do this. One of the times is like last order, and the second time is we're going to kick you out of the restaurant if you're not out by this time. So it'd be like the last order comes in at 9, and if you're not out by 10, we're kicking you out. Okay. How far up is this? It's like 85% of the way through the game, and we've been here the whole time. Okay, try again. Here we go. What movies are you looking forward to? I'm going to answer this in the negative instead of the positive. I'm going to tell you that I know people were getting hype for that Candyman trailer today. And I know he's only the producer. I have no reason to doubt Jordan Peele. However, you got to mix up your trailers, Jordan. You got to mix up your trailers. I get it now. You take a classic song from the hip hop and R&B genre and you put it in a minor key and you slow it down. Say my name, say my name. We gotta do something different with the trailers. When I was watching that trailer, I was like, it's just the Us trailer. But, 1 year in the future. I like Us. Us was good. I didn't think it was as good as Get At. But I did enjoy it. Actually, it's We Were Good. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Why was Get Out considered good? Is it an American thing? First off, you tilted me so hard I fell off the edge. I really think like Get Out and Knives Out occupy a very similar business case, which is the movies have a message, but on a surface level, they also just tell an entertaining story. So if you're like, I didn't get Out, then I think you'd screwed yourself, because you could just enjoy it on a surface level to begin with as like a science fiction thriller. But if you're like, I got the message and the message made it so I'm going to pretend like I didn't understand why people like the movie, that's just kind of that's a weird champ. That's a very weird champ reaction. It has the same energy as the lions, like the animal from the circus. They were playing a game. Okay. Figure out what you do. Santa brought it early, etc., etc. I'm not going to talk about the message in Knives Out. The movie, it just came out for rental like 2 weeks ago. In a couple years, we could talk about it. What was that movie where the blind guy has a horror basement? So that movie is called Don't Breathe. That movie's pretty sick. That's up there as far as like horror movie / thrillers go. Is that the one with Jim Karasanke? No, that's A Quiet Place, directed and starring John Krasinski. Okay. Okay. Yo, The Farewell is on Prime in the US now. Oh, baby. I can't be too mad. It's probably not on the Canadian Amazon Prime yet. But on the other hand, we did get Uncut Gems on Netflix and America didn't. So I'm not mad. Yeah, Hush is the one with the deaf lady, and it's a home invasion. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of... Horror has a lot of inversions on the same formula. Hush was okay. A Quiet Place was better, in my opinion. There we go. We're up. Are you going to see A Quiet Place too? I'm going to apply the exact same reasoning I used to see A Quiet Place 1, which is if the reviews are great, I will see it in theaters. If the reviews are horrible, I will not see it at all. I will say, I would give myself a yellow light in terms of optimism for the movie. Simply because that's a little much. Simply because it feels like it's a profit-driven sequel. You know? Like, it's like they had one idea for a horror movie. They executed it really well. Pretty well, I guess. And then it got... You know, it was an unexpected success. So they went, oh, shit. Let's make another one. Like The Hangover, basically. Send it. Hangover 2 is better than Hangover 1. Of all the bad opinions in chat in the last 15 minutes, and there's been no shortage. This one might be the worst of them all. It's the same movie, but set in a different place. Like, it's almost exactly the same movie. Spider-Man 3 was the best Spider-Man? This is too much. It's just too much. It's one of those things that's very easy to just be right about. Just have the right opinion. Don't be the guy who's like, personally, I think Zoolander 2 is better than the original. We gotta find common ground in today's society. And if we can't find common ground on which of the Spider-Man films from Sam Raimi is the best, we're never gonna find common ground in anything. Thank you. It's Spider-Man 2. Everybody knows it's Spider-Man 2. Why are we pretending? Spider-Man 1's pretty good, though. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about which one's the best. And it's Spider-Man 2. What happened in 2 again? I don't know, dude. It's not a big deal. You got 8 legs, you used too small a slice, and now your reactor's absolutely fucked. Something like that. It's the one with the dashboard confessional song. Where he goes, hope dangles on a string like slow spinning redemption. And when you're listening to the song, you're like, oh shit, you know what else dangles on a string like slow spinning redemption? Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man, yet again, for the second time on the silver screen. Look, in half an hour, we're doing Dark Souls no matter what. If we don't beat Getting Over It, we're bringing it back for another solo segment. It's gotta be done, dude. Did the foregone developer tweet make you uncomfortable? It did, but not in a way that's their fault. You know, they tweeted that they were like a picture of them watching the video in their cafeteria with like 12 of their staff watching the video while they ate. And that's like sometimes I look at my analytics and, you know, like a video in its first hour, it might get like 5,000 views, right? So when you think about it, 5,000 views is like 90 people per second are watching it, right? When you imagine that in your head, every second is like, wait a minute, maybe I got my numbers extremely wrong. Hold on, 90 people a minute. That's what I meant. So it's like one and a half people per second. So every second you're like, that's 3 people. That's 6 people. Like, it expands super quick, right? It's still surreal. But those people are separate. They're in separate locations. They're watching on their own. It doesn't strike you as intimidating. Like, at any given moment, I don't know, there might be like at least 1,500 people, not including the Twitch stream, but just people watching on YouTube right now. And when you think about that, you're like, oh my God, 1,500 people are watching my content as we speak. That's weird. But 12 people in a room watching it together when it's their product on the stream, or on the screen, I should say, that gave me the heebie-jeebies. But it's like, you know, I replied to the tweet and I went, ah, because that's how I felt. But at the same time, you know, I got over it pretty quick because, like, what are you going to do? Hey, don't watch my video. You know, you just kind of gotta own it. Oh yes, it's different when you creators get together in your pantheon. little weird champ energy coming off of a bit that I thought was kind of vulnerable, but it's your prerogative, I suppose. Yo, how did you get weird champ in my chat? How did you get that weird champ in here? How did you do? You added it to your personal emotes. Resin. Contraband weird champ. Honestly, sneaking weird champ into a chat where it's banned is some very pog champ energy. Okay, don't go too far on this one. Just a little bit. How did you like Altered Beast? I really enjoyed kicking a bunch of skeletons in the nuts over and over. I thought that part was pretty sick. I thought Watermelon Boss was less sick. a little panic. A little panic involved in that one. Sand it. Realistically, how many Austin levels do you think you can beat? I mean, I have no idea because I haven't watched any of the streams because I'm not supposed to. So I have no idea. It does mean I've been watching a lot less Twitch TV lately. Because I only watch like 5 streamers on this cursed website. And one of them has been dropping packets left, right, and center. One of them streams at 3 a.m. my time or something. And then one of them is, every time I go to his stream, he goes, "Get out of here! You're not supposed to be here!" Please. Etc., etc., yes.